My name is Aremi, and today I'll be talking about students experiencing homelessness and how Mckenny Vento protects their educational rights. I chose this specifically because I work at a school and they make us take this yearly training where it's important reasons why we have to be identifying children and supporting them, and I just thought it was nice to come back to it. One thing I wanted to clarify right away is that homelessness doesn't only mean living on the streets. Under Mckenny Vento, students are considered homeless if they lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. That includes shelters, motels, or even situations like doubling up, which is usually when families are staying with other families because they can't afford housing. I see that happen a lot, not only where it's just two families living up together, but I'm pretty sure I've seen up to 3-4 living at one house to be able to go on with their lives. That means a lot of families don't realize they actually qualify for all the resources provided under Mckenny Vento. Frequent moves can mean attending multiple schools in a single year. Every move interrupts learning and breaks relationships with teachers and peers. That makes a difficult time for students. It's just harder to keep up their grades, to keep their attention on what they should be doing, focusing, being a child, enjoying their moments. So students struggle to focus because they're dealing with uncertainty about where they'll sleep or whether they'll have food. And when basic needs aren't met, academics become secondary. So, Mckenny Vento rights. Mckenny Vento ensures that schools remain that one stable place in a student's life. So students have the right to immediate enrollment even without immunizations or records. They also have the right to transportation no matter where they are. They'll be provided with that. So they'll be able to get to their school of origin. This helps maintain consistency, friendships, and routines. So they'll be allowed to have a normal, even though it might not be very normal for them, but it's nice to have that security, at least in one place. So this is what surprised me, and it always gets to me. Even though I take this training every year for my school district job, one thing that still surprised me is that students can stay enrolled in their original school even if they move out of the district. Transportation must be provided. I always assumed families had to switch schools just to make it easier, but legally they don't. Stability takes priority over paperwork, and I just think it's really nice because I've seen bonds be created with time, and it's just better to keep them rather than break them because it takes longer to start all over, both for kids and for teachers. So definitely always good to be sure that you'll see your favorite teacher or your friends. So, child development. So this connects directly to the child development and adverse childhood experiences. So, homelessness is considered a trauma. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels in the brain, which affects memory, attention, and emotional regulation, which, if you put together, it does make learning difficult. So we can't expect students to be at 100% and be ready to learn when they're going through trauma or they're going through these situations. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, students can't focus on academics until basic needs like safety and belonging are met. Schools might be the only stable, predictable environment in their life. So it's really important to keep it as close as possible to that they know. So this is how teachers can help. As educators, We can support these students by offering predictable routines, being flexible with assignments, and approaching behavior with a trauma-sensitive mindset. We don't need to know why a student is homeless. Our job is to remove barriers and build trust. So always try to know a little bit of what's going on. Doesn't have to be the exact situation like it says right there. But maybe it'll make us be a little more understanding why they're a little sleepy and they're not paying full attention to class. They're not trying to be mean or like ignore the lecture or the lesson. It's just they probably didn't have a really good sleep. Why? Because they were worried, or whole situation at home is not as normal as we would expect it to be. So it does help to know a little bit behind the scenes, or at least just be empathetic, be kind, patient with not only these students, every student, but more so children that are considered homeless. All right, so I think that to close, students experiencing homelessness are incredibly resilient. All it takes is one adult at school to provide stability and hope. So I know that as future teachers, we can make a difference in their lives. So, yep, let's try to be that for our students. Thank you for watching.